This is a tour of my main sketchbook from 2025. This spans from late December of last year to early September of this year. As with all my sketchbooks, it primarily consists of personal art and leisurely drawing with a few studies in there as well. I specialise in character illustration, so most pages will reflect this, with maybe a few abstract pieces here and there. Before we begin, content warning for blood, illustrated blood, in 3, 2, 1. Macbeth themed sketchbook. This was given to me in a Secret Santa swap in Christmas of 2021, so I am very happy to have finally gotten around to working in it, and you can expect a lot of Macbeth based illustrations. First page in, we are greeted with Danielle, who is currently wearing Victoria's Secret. It's got a faint sort of tint of pure seduction, but it's very subtle. Either way, this is a character called Danielle. She is from an 80s, 90s fantasy animated film called Flight of Dragons. Thanks Triple Hate for getting me obsessed. And her portrait was watercolour, basically just testing the limits of the paper and the thickness of the paper. You will find many perfume samples amongst the pages. I went to John Lewis and I didn't know where to put all the samples, so I just shoved them into my sketchbook. Not as strong as it used to be, but now the pages all have like a subtle perfume to them. Next page, we have more Flight of Dragons art. This is a character called Lo Tijao. All you need to know is he's my literally main character. Flight of Dragons art again. This is a character called Melisande. Melisande again. This was felt tip pen. Coming back into watercolour, we have my pony Sona. Her name is Anaphora. And I also recently, well, not recently anymore, but at this point in time I got a new, I don't want to say Tipp-Ex because it's not Tipp-Ex, it's a white pen. Like a white felt tip paint pen, a white paint pen. Absolute endless love for white highlights. Here we have Anaphora again. You might notice with my digital art I have a tendency to bless all of my characters with glitter on the inner corners of the eyes. So I've tried that traditionally with some glitter nail polish. It didn't particularly work out since it blended with the pen and generated a purplyish tint, but it was worth a try. Next up we have my other MLPOC. Her name is Maintail, who is currently wearing Prada. Anyone wants to redirect to the Prada website, not sponsored. Again, another watercolour drawing and experimenting with inner corner highlights and glitter. This is obsidian, sort of interwoven and upon their fur, which the purple tone from the glitter sort of ended up matching the obsidian anyway, which works out really nicely. Next up we have Jen in an upcoming episode in my audio drama TPC. This was referenced from something I found in Pinterest. She's basically like looking into a mirror, testing out drawing from different angles and like mirror imagery. Jen again, sort of concept art for her design, sort of working out how the fluffy black shawl / scarf thing actually works. Doesn't really make sense when I designed it. It's one of those cartoon elements that don't really make sense. So I'm sort of like getting through that loophole with this one. Here we have my persona Marianne. Again, an opportunity to experiment with glitter, but also using some white highlights as well. Next up, this one's really interesting because in 2016 I created, this was when MLP Next Generation, Main Six's children was everywhere essentially. So I had an idea to create a daughter for Fluttershy in Discord, and this is what she looked like. Her name was Morgana Rose or Scarlet Rose, something along those lines. Basically another Fluttershy, but with black hair, brownish toned fur, and rose cutie mark. She's also part fourth, a quarter dragon, since, you know, her father's half dragon. Here's some biological info here. It was Morgana Rose, Scarlet Rose, or Persephone Rose. Something Rose. Obviously a quarter dragon on her father's side, and she's also inherited pyrokinesis, which is when you can control fire, and she's also an 8th bat pony because that's where she gets her years from, you know. Fluttershy obviously still having some of the bat pony genetics from the season 4 accident. This was when I found out what a kinsona was, so I tried my hand at making an actual Fluttershy, slightly rarity influenced kinsona, taking Fluttershy's design and sort of incorporating these old money, sort of pearl ribbon elements into it. Fluttershy with a little bit of rarity, a basic rough design, just a test. And next up we have my other pony-sona, it's like my IRL pony-sona. She is obviously a unicorn because I am an illustrator, so it makes sense. Next up we have another perfume sample. This is another kinsona I made, this time based off Lotejao. Technically he's supposed to be the golden wizard, but I do not have a very golden coloured pencil, and my gold gel pen ran out, so I just ended up using like a golden brownish colour, which I really regret doing, but it's better than using yellow. It's another drawing of Jen. This was essentially I saw a cute pose on Pinterest and I'm like, that is very Jen coded. Next one we have Marianne again. This is from Sephora. This is Black Opium. Just another simple drawing of my persona. I saw something on Pinterest and it was like a made up phone number, 1-800-SAD-GIRL, obviously based off the Lana song Sad Girl. So I felt inspired to do some melancholic, not really depressed, but melancholic Pinkamena Pinkie Pie art. Because Pinkamena, straight-haired Pinkie Pie, wasn't intended to be a serial killer. She was intended to be a sad version of Pinkie Pie, so I wanted to embrace that depiction of Pinkamena as opposed to the conventional cupcakes fandom generated idea of her. Cupcakes actually came out before Party of Ron, fun fact. Next up, another drawing of my pony-sona. On Pinterest I saw a drawing of Rarity with a giant bottle of Miss Dior, so I wanted to draw my pony-sona with Versace Bright Crystal. I think I still have my mini Bright Crystal to reference as well. One of my little siblings let me borrow their crayons and their pens as well, so I did a cute little TPC concept art piece of Macbeth and Jen. Essentially this is set in purgatory. You can obviously infer a lot of imagery from this. Jen is bathing in the rivers of purgatory and Macbeth is obviously sort of shielding her with his wing. Also note how he's looking away. You can infer a lot from this image basically. I saw something on Instagram Reels. It was an account that did colouring pages, colouring time lapses with gel pens, and that day I was like, oh, we're going to Home Bargains, we're getting some gel pens. So these are some gel pen tests. Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash. Rainbow Dash is really, really good for testing colours. Another drawing with not my pens, one of my siblings' pens. They have a very nice beige peachy colour, which is very good for shading my pony-sona's coat colour. More gel pen tests. We have Rarity. I wanted to do all the main 6 just to see what the colours would look like, so I have some quick sort of headshots here, and we also have my pony-sona again. Another gel pen drawing of my pony-sona. I realised how much my red pen was actually running out, so I gave her a sort of simplified unicorn, Karen, lion tail to mitigate my pen from running out. Here we have some observational drawings. I did so many of these in lockdown, like while I was waiting in the car or whatever. Observational layered sketches of elements outside, like fences, architectural elements, plants. And here we have more observational drawings. And here is one more Flight of Dragons based piece. This is Melisande and Lotte Xiao. Essentially he's her father's brother, so best uncle. Best uncle. Next one we have a drawing of Jen. This was from a Twitter meme I found, I think. And instantly I wanted to draw Jen like that. Also Carolina Herrera. The shoe, the pink one. Very fruity sort of scent. This is another drawing of Jen, sort of like trying to make her hair look realistic, like translate it into realism. Didn't quite work out particularly how I would want it to. I want the curtain bangs to be much thicker, but just an experiment. And this is me in a similar style as before. This one's a bit of a mess, but it's just Jen in the Rivers of Purgatory, sort of inspired by some river photography I found on Pinterest. This is Triple Eight's character, the Misanthrope. He is currently lying in a field of daffodils. This character has a bit of a association with daffodils, so with it being April and daffodil season, I was inspired to create this. This was for Easter, obligatory drawing of my OC Blair dressed as the Easter bunny. This was sort of like practicing drawing hands, observational drawing of hands, referenced from another art piece based off Macbeth with the daggers. Got a lot of Macbeth drawings incoming, so we have somewhere during the original play when Jen is reassuring Macbeth or talking him into the murder. You know, he's very reluctant here. We can infer that with the hand imagery and where the eyes are looking. Another drawing along those lines, this would be set. I think a lot of them were referenced from pre-existing paintings based off the play, just redrawn with my designs. This is most likely set during the dinner party scene. Macbeth is having a panic attack and Jen is not impressed. Next up, I posted this one for Shakespeare Day this year. This is the scene when Macbeth has just been crowned king. Banquo is feeling a bit uneased and Macbeth has to convince him to come to the dinner party still. And Jen's just really sad seeing her two friends fall apart. Also note the light next to the crown, sort of similar to how medieval paintings and illuminations depict halos and light. Here's another one. This is again set in the dinner party scene. These are actual quotes from the play, but the way I've spelt them is a bit different. Like, I've spelt proper the way an English person would pronounce proper. Blocking the scenes for scene 1. I think I was originally going to do every single scene, but that was a project that never came around. But here's scene 1. The sisters center stage and there's mist surrounding them. This was when the doll trend was going around, so you'd create a doll of yourself with some items that represent you. So we have iced coffee, dairy milk chocolate, Victoria's Secret Pure Seduction, lip gloss, heart-shaped sunglasses, Nivea Soft, Versace Crystal Noir, eyeliner, silver necklace with a butterfly on it, and a pen. This one, Dolce & Gabbana. This piece, although it looks like it has aged really badly, if you know, you know, but this was actually a piece for VA Day, which is Victory in Europe Day, which sort of celebrates the end of World War II in Europe and Germany's surrender. I didn't actually realise it was VA Day until on the day, which is around about the 8th of May, I think, 8th or 9th of May, so I quickly threw something together. It was celebrating 80 years this year, so that's quite notable. Just Mazzy with a Union Jack. Coming into June, we have my Junicorn drawings. This year I did 5 prompts as I usually do, but this time I wanted to do them traditionally and do like a different medium for each week, and each week would also be a different MLP generation. So for example, week 1 was Vision, so I used Twilight from Generation 1. This was watercolour. In G1, Twilight has a very prominent association with magic and teleportation and whimsy, so she was very fitting for this prompt. Week 2 was Measure, so I chose a character from G2 called Copper Glow. She is essentially standing on a scale to represent measurements. Don't have a copper coloured gel pen, so I used a gold gel pen. Next week was spring, so I chose the Generation 3 character Cheerilee, the original Cheerilee, Unicorn Cheerilee, best G3 character. She was an all-time favourite of mine. Sort of like reflecting the pink imagery in her hair and the flower imagery of her cutie mark with the cherry blossom, and this was obviously coloured pencil. Next week was Starlight, and because it was Generation 4, I obviously chose the character Starlight. This was acrylic paint. Don't come for me on this one. I am a watercolour painter, not an acrylic painter, so the paintwork won't be the best. I'm aware Starlight has more of like a purplyish tint to her coat rather than being pure pink, but I generally like a lot of pink in my sketchbook, so I took that opportunity. Finally, week 5 was Pride, so I chose the G5 character Izzy, and the fandom collectively agrees that she's bisexual, so I gave her the bisexual flag as well. This was felt tip pen and water. Another pen and water drawing is, I did try my hand at doing the doll trend, just very basically drew myself and then some. I narrowed it down to 5 items. We have heart-shaped sunglasses, lip gloss or lip oil, a pen, Versace Dylan purple, and Dairy Milk chocolate. Next up, this is another TPC based drawing of Jen, and this actually isn't Macbeth, this is actually Macbeth's father, Finn, or Muffin. His actual name historically was Finley, but I call him Finn. You know, father and son, son's wife, close enough. In my AU, Finn is very, conservative, traditional family values, and obviously Jen is quite the opposite. Lady Macbeth is the opposite of traditional family values, so they have a very interesting dynamic, shall we say. These are just some quick sketches of Pinkie Pie, sort of the types of drawings I do when I've finished editing a YouTube video and I need to watch it through to make sure it's okay. These are the types of drawings I do to keep myself focused. Right, you will have noticed that I do tend to draw a lot of female characters, and because of that, my art style is very feminine, especially the way I draw body types. So on these pages, I wanted to practice drawing actual male body types, like learning how to draw actual men, because I'm giving them too many curves. So this was me practicing male anatomy, particularly muscular anatomy, since that is Macbeth's body type, but also because for my scene in an upcoming Nistverse installment, I had to draw King Sophiros, and he has been depicted as being quite muscular, and at the time my sketch of him looked too much like a twink, so I needed to practice. And here we have another page, and then on this page, more TPC concept art. This time Jen has actually convinced Macbeth to come into the rivers with her somehow. And the composition of this image is sort of inspired by something I saw on Pinterest of the hot tub scene from The Witcher with Yasmin and Geralt of Rivia. Also, the Airy Moogler. Another piece similar to the last. I don't particularly think the flowers in Jen's mouth turned out as planned, but we're going to ignore that. And here is another drawing reference from that scene. I really like how this turned out with the colour contrasts and the framing. This time Jen is looking after Macbeth. And again, here is another with Jen. Got some observational sketches of hands, because I really need to practice hands before people start assuming my art is AI just because I can't draw hands. So we're trying to romanticise drawing them here. This one was traced from my hand. Observational sketches of Jen. These were referenced from poses I had on my Pinterest. One of them sort of based off the sleepwalking scene, the blood on her hands, and this one's just her braiding her hair. This is a drawing of my OC Magenta. This is when she is all grown up. If you know my character Magenta, she struggles with anger issues, she has major internalised misogyny, but she really softens out as she gets older and heals, and this is what she looks like. Used colour pencil on this one, just to give it a really soft appearance. And here we have the Powerpuff Girls in my style, sort of practicing shading black hair and blonde hair. Ginger hair didn't work out as much as I thought it would, but I did come back to it. Comment which Powerpuff Girl you are or were growing up, because I have always been Bubbles, maybe with a little bit of Blossom mixed in as well. And the final official page of the sketchbook, I wanted to, obviously from the previous one, I wanted to practice drawing ginger hair tones, so I took this as an opportunity. This is a redraw of a screen cap from a 80s, 90s, Y2K TV series called Gargoyles. I was essentially looking at different interpretations of Lady Macbeth throughout different media, and it came up. And now we're officially into the rough sketches at the end of the sketchbook. This is some concept art for TPC. Jen, I was looking at her butterfly halo. Maybe the butterflies reflect her emotions or oppose her emotions. Like an angel on your shoulder type of thing, they oppose her emotions. Also looking at Macbeth's third eye, because he has 3 eyes. Maybe the third eye has a mind of its own sometimes. We don't know, this is still in development. This one was for my 10-year YouTube anniversary, just a quick little drawing. We have my pony persona at the time, called Marzipan Sunday, in 2015 when I first started YouTube. My first username was actually Moondancer. And here we have me now, Marianne Studios, and my pony persona Anaphora in 2025. Come full circle with the Fluttershy influence, really. Once a Fluttershy girly, always a Fluttershy girly. Here's another rendition of the aforementioned Magenta drawing. This one was pen and wash. Testing paints, mixing paints, testing pens to make sure they work. And finally, my mind mapping and initial ideas of Junicorn and which characters I wanted to use, which prompts I wanted to use. And that just about concludes our tour. Thank you ever so kindly if you made it this far. My recording is currently 48 minutes, so I will do my best to condense it down. But if you enjoyed, leave me a comment, it helps with the algorithm, and comment your favourite page. Either way, thank you for watching, and good night.